Welcome, everyone. Today, we're going to explore some of the most valuable coins in the United States, the top 4 Jefferson Nickels. In this video, we'll dive into their market values, rare mint errors, and the special conditions that make these silver-toned nickels so desirable. We'll also talk about the different color shades and unique varieties that have become major highlights in the coin collecting and investing world. These rare treasures are not just pieces of American history, but also some of the most valuable and sought-after coins among collectors today. So, if you're a coin enthusiast or someone who appreciates the beauty and significance of American currency, this video is made just for you. Moneybag, let's get started with our first rare Jefferson nickel. The 1943 Jefferson nickel stands as one of the most fascinating and historically rich coins ever minted in the United States. Born in the heat of World War II, this humble 5-cent piece carries a story far greater than its face value. When Americans were called to conserve every ounce of nickel for tanks, guns, and armor plating, the U.S. Mint had to find an alternative metal to keep coinage flowing. The solution was brilliant and accidental in its own way. The 1943 nickel was struck from a composition of 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. This gave the coin a subtle shimmer unlike any other in circulation, and unknowingly created one of the most collectible coins in American history. Minted in San Francisco, the 1943 Jefferson nickel carries its proud S mark above Monticello on the reverse side, a small letter that today holds immense power. The San Francisco Mint produced fewer coins compared to Philadelphia and Denver, and that scarcity turned this wartime issue into a treasure decades later. Each of these coins, handled by soldiers, mothers, and factory workers during America's wartime struggle, now speaks through time with whispers of history and survival. They were part of the war effort, a circulating symbol of resilience, yet today they represent hope, fortune, and the thrill of discovery for collectors. The design itself adds another layer of beauty and symbolism. On the obverse stands Thomas Jefferson, America's third president, his profile sharp and dignified, surrounded by the words, "In God we trust," and "Liberty." The reverse, showing Monticello, Jefferson's own Virginia estate, was a masterpiece of architectural tribute by sculptor Felix Schlag. Schlag's original design underwent changes, but the 1943 version captures the wartime essence with striking boldness. The silver alloy gave the coin a soft glow, as though history itself had touched the surface. Many collectors say these nickels shimmer differently, almost as if they know their own importance. By 1943, America's coinage had become a part of the home front battle plan. Every citizen was asked to contribute scrap metal, and the Mint's decision to use silver for nickels was an extraordinary act of adaptation. Ironically, what was once a temporary wartime measure has turned into an eternal legacy. The 1943 silver Jefferson nickel was never meant to last this long, but its survival in pristine condition has made it one of the most valuable treasures of modern numismatics. Over the decades, stories have emerged of people finding these silvery nickels tucked in drawers, jars, or old war savings banks. In perfect mint condition, a 1943 can fetch thousands of dollars, and in rare cases, with brilliant luster and full strike, far more. But beyond price tags and auctions, the real worth of this coin lies in its symbolism. It's not just silver, it's a fragment of a time when every ounce of material and every American hand contributed to victory. The silver content makes these coins even more alluring. While they're commonly known as war nickels, their intrinsic metal value alone often surpasses their original denomination. Collectors today see them as both artifacts and investments. The silver within each coin connects them to the precious metal markets of the world, and in times of economic uncertainty, their value only increases. It's said that if a stash of untouched 1943 nickel surfaced today, it could change the financial destiny of its owner overnight. But rarity, too, plays its part in this legend. The San Francisco Mint's production of these coins was comparatively lower, and finding one that has escaped the wear of time is increasingly difficult. Many were melted down after the war, destroyed in circulation, or corroded beyond recognition. To hold one in sharp detail today is like holding lightning in your palm, fleeting, rare, and powerful. What truly captivates collectors, however, is the mystery surrounding certain varieties of this coin. Overstrikes, double dies, and minting errors occasionally appear among the 1943 nickels, turning an already valuable coin into an astronomical fortune. A single well-preserved error coin can sell for tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's not fantasy, it's fact woven with the magic of chance, a piece of history accidentally sculpted into gold. For those who own this coin, it isn't just a collectible. It's a bridge to the past. Every scratch, every glint of silver tells a story of the people who used it. Perhaps a soldier's sweetheart buying a letter stamp, a boy purchasing a newspaper about the war, or a mother saving it for her child's candy. The 1943 Jefferson nickel is more than metal. It is memory made tangible. Even now, more than 80 years later, the coin continues to rise in significance. Modern collectors see it as a keystone of the World War II era, an embodiment of national sacrifice and ingenuity. When displayed among other Jefferson nickels, the 1943 stands out instantly with its pale silver hue, its proud mint mark, and its aura of wartime dignity. So, if you ever stumble upon one, glinting faintly in a box of old coins, resting quietly in a drawer, or passed down by an ancestor, don't overlook it. This unassuming 5-cent piece could carry unimaginable value. Its silver heart and its history make it more than money. It's a key to fortune and legacy. The 1943 Jefferson nickel is not just a coin. It's a story, a symbol, and a spark, capable of turning a simple discovery into an everlasting fortune overnight. In the grand narrative of American coinage, the 1943 stands as proof that value isn't always measured in size or denomination. Sometimes, it's measured in meaning, and this little silver nickel, born in the fires of war, has more meaning than most treasures the world has ever known. Next up, the 1964 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark stands as one of the most fascinating and talked about coins in American numismatic history. Though millions were minted at the Denver Mint, the mystery and rarity of certain high-quality strikes and unusual errors from that year have made it one of the most sought-after nickels in existence. The 1964 D nickel is not just a 5-cent piece. For collectors and dreamers alike, it's a symbol of lost silver, hidden treasure, and the powerful way that history can be preserved in the palm of your hand. The year 1964 marked a turning point in American coinage. The United States Mint was under immense pressure to produce vast quantities of coins due to a severe coin shortage sweeping the nation. People were hoarding silver coins, fearful of the transition to cheaper metal compositions. In the rush to meet demand, the Denver Mint struck an astonishing 1.8 billion nickels, the highest mintage in the entire Jefferson nickel series. Yet among these billions lies a whisper of mystery, rare proof-like strikes, die varieties, and possibly transitional errors that transformed an ordinary coin into one worth thousands, even millions, in the collector's market today. What gives the 1964 D nickel its enduring power is not only its age but also its timing. It was the last year that the U.S. Mint struck nickels with any significant attention to traditional craftsmanship before moving toward modern mass production. Some of these coins were produced with such sharp, mirror-like finishes that they resembled proof coins, though no official proof nickels were made at the Denver Mint. These special strikes, believed to have come from freshly polished dies, became treasures hidden in plain sight, circulating innocently in pockets and purses before anyone realized their future worth. The coin's design carries history within every curve. On the obverse stands the dignified profile of Thomas Jefferson, the nation's third president and author of the Declaration of Independence. The reverse features Monticello, his Virginia estate, a symbol of enlightenment, innovation, and independence. When the light strikes a well-preserved 1964 D nickel, the shimmering reflection over Monticello's domes and columns tells a story of American craftsmanship at its best. Even a humble 5-cent piece could carry the spirit of a nation's ideals. Collectors around the world search relentlessly for the elusive varieties of this coin. The most legendary among them is the full steps variety, referring to the sharp clarity of the steps on Monticello. Only a few 1964 D nickels show the complete detail, as most dies were worn or hastily prepared during the minting rush. A perfect full steps example can fetch extraordinary prices, thousands of dollars for one coin. Imagine, something once worth only 5 cents now valued higher than gold simply because of its precision and survival against time. But there's another layer of allure, the whispers of silver. Though officially composed of copper and nickel, rumors persist among collectors that a small batch of experimental silver-struck nickels may have escaped the mint's walls. Whether these are truth or myth, the belief adds fire to the legend. In coin collecting, belief and rarity intertwine, and it's that mystery that keeps collectors chasing, hoping, and dreaming. In the modern market, the 1964 D nickel continues to astonish experts. While common examples might be worth only a few cents, rare errors, such as double strikes, off-center mintings, or the ultra-scarce proof-like varieties, command small fortunes at auction. Some coins with immaculate luster and strong steps have sold for tens of thousands, and rumors swirl of hidden hoards that could be worth far more. The story of this coin proves that history and value often hide in the smallest of places. The Denver Mint itself has become a part of this legend. In 1964, it was operating at full capacity, day and night, in an effort to meet national demand. Workers likely had no idea that their hurried work would one day produce coins that collectors treat like ancient artifacts. Every 1964 D nickel that survives today, especially in untouched condition, is a frozen moment of American history, a relic of industry, pressure, and transition. To hold one of these coins is to hold a tangible link to that transformative era. The sound of metal presses, the clatter of nickels spilling into bins, the hum of a mint operating under immense pressure, all of that energy was captured within the coin. And now, decades later, that energy has matured into mystique and value. The same 5-cent piece that once bought a newspaper or a candy bar now carries the potential to buy a home. The market for Jefferson nickels has evolved over time, and the 1964 D remains its beating heart. Collectors know that not all coins are created equal. Condition, luster, and minting errors can turn one coin into a priceless artifact. Many 1964 D nickels still circulate today, but only a microscopic fraction possess the purity and precision that make them truly special. Finding one is like discovering buried treasure, a reminder that history sometimes hides in the ordinary. The story of the 1964 D Jefferson nickel is more than numismatic, it's poetic. It teaches that value isn't always visible, that fortune can rest in a forgotten drawer or an old jar of change. For those who look closely, for those who understand the language of metal and mint marks, the 1964 D nickel offers a promise that patience, curiosity, and respect for history can turn something humble into something magnificent. So if you ever find a 1964 D Jefferson nickel, don't rush to spend it. Hold it, study it, and remember that it represents far more than its face value. It's a fragment of American resilience, an emblem of transformation, and a quiet guardian of stories untold. In today's market, its worth might make you wealthy, but its real power lies in what it represents, the enduring connection between everyday life and the extraordinary history embedded in the coins we carry. By 1944, the United States was fully engaged in the global battle for freedom. Every factory was roaring, every shipyard glowing, every mint running at full speed to support the economy and the troops. The San Francisco Mint, marked by its small S beneath the olive branches, produced millions of mercury dimes that year. But among those millions, a rare few were struck with unmatched brilliance, crisp lines, and exceptional silver purity, coins that would, decades later, be recognized as numismatic masterpieces worth small fortunes. Next up, the 1969 Jefferson nickel with the S mint mark stands as one of the most fascinating and mysterious coins in the American numismatic story, a coin that bridges the world of everyday currency and the realm of hidden fortune. At first glance, it looks ordinary, a 5-cent piece showing the stately portrait of Thomas Jefferson on one side and his beautiful Monticello home on the other. Yet, hidden within its copper-nickel layers lies a legend that collectors whisper about, a coin that, under rare conditions, could be worth far beyond its face value. This is not just a nickel, it is a chapter in America's metallic history, carrying stories of artistry, politics, and the unpredictable journey of fortune. The Jefferson Nickel series began in 1938, replacing the beloved Buffalo nickel. The new design was chosen through a public competition, and Felix Schlag's Vision won, a design that represented America's founding spirit through Jefferson's dignified profile and his architectural legacy, Monticello. But by 1969, the United States was in the midst of transformation, politically, culturally, and economically. Coin production reflected that change. The San Francisco Mint, marked by the proud S mint mark, was no longer the small experimental branch it once was. It had become a powerhouse for creating proof and circulation coins, and the 1969 S Jefferson nickel was one of its shining outputs. While most 1969 S nickels were made from copper and nickel, not silver, their mystique grows from the era's context. During the late 1960s, silver was rapidly disappearing from U.S. coins due to rising costs. Collectors began hoarding older silver issues, and rumors swirled that certain experimental pieces, especially from San Francisco, were struck with silver alloys by mistake or in limited quantities. Though no official record confirms a silver version of the 1969 S. Jefferson nickel, the very idea that one could exist has sent waves of speculation through the collector community for decades. Imagine finding a coin that defies the norm, that was perhaps a minting accident or a secret test piece. Its worth could indeed make one's fortune overnight. The craftsmanship of the 1969 S. nickel remains stunning. Jefferson's portrait gleams with quiet confidence, and every letter of "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" is sharply defined. The S. mint mark beneath the year is like a silent signature from the artisans of San Francisco, marking not just where it was made, but the care that went into its creation. The reverse, showing Monticello, carries the dignity of American architecture, with columns, windows, and doors that shimmer in the right light. For collectors, such details are treasures, the difference between a simple 5-cent coin and one worth thousands. What truly drives the value of the 1969 S. Jefferson nickel, however, is rarity and condition. In flawless proof or uncirculated form, these coins can reach astonishing prices. A coin that has never been touched by circulation, whose mirror-like surface still shines as it did the day it left the mint, becomes a time capsule. Some proofs were struck with extraordinary precision, and a handful exhibit unusual die errors or double strikes that make them priceless. The world of numismatics thrives on such imperfections, where mistakes become miracles and a simple nickel becomes a legend. The 1969 S also represents a moment when America was redefining its relationship with money. Inflation, the end of the silver standard, and the Vietnam War all shaped the nation's economy. People began to see coins not just as tools of trade, but as relics of history. The Jefferson nickel, with its image of one of the country's greatest thinkers and authors of freedom, symbolized resilience and continuity. It carried both the weight of tradition and the shimmer of innovation, qualities that mirror the American dream itself. Over time, the San Francisco Mint became synonymous with excellence. Each S. mint mark evokes pride and precision. The 1969 S. Jefferson nickel, though minted in large numbers, retains that aura of craftsmanship. And among the millions, the possibility that a few carry hidden compositions or minting secrets keeps collectors hunting. Some stories even tell of a mysterious batch struck from leftover silver blanks. If such a coin were verified, it could easily command a fortune in today's market, perhaps millions, not for the metal but for the mystery. Collectors today treat the 1969 S. Jefferson nickel as a symbol of discovery. The thrill lies not only in owning one but in examining every curve, every detail, every reflection under magnified light, wondering if they hold one of those mythical rarities. It's the feeling that any ordinary person, with sharp eyes and patience, might stumble upon a hidden treasure in a jar of old coins, a relic that could change their destiny in an instant. This sense of possibility makes coin collecting magical and deeply human. The beauty of the 1969 S. nickel lies also in its sound. Tap it lightly on a hard surface, and it sings with the ring of genuine metal, a note that echoes from another era when coins had character, depth, and artistry. Its silver-like shimmer under light only deepens the illusion, feeding the imagination of treasure hunters who believe that some were struck in an experimental silver blend, a secret lost in the vaults of the San Francisco Mint. And even if your 1969 S. Jefferson nickel is made of simple copper and nickel, its story is no less golden. Every coin has survived decades of change, passed through unknown hands, perhaps crossed oceans, or sat quietly in a family drawer while the world outside transformed. That longevity is what gives these coins their soul. They are not mere currency, they are storytellers in metal. So, if you ever come across a 1969 S. Jefferson nickel, hold it carefully. Study the mint mark, feel its weight, and let your imagination wander. Perhaps yours is one of the rare, silver-like strikes. Perhaps it's a flawless proof, shimmering with untouched beauty. Or perhaps it's simply a witness to history. In all these cases, one truth remains: never underestimate it. This small 5-cent piece could carry the power to change your life overnight, not just through its potential worth, but through the wonder it awakens, that even the most ordinary objects can hide extraordinary stories, waiting for someone to discover their true brilliance. Next up, the 1962 D. Jefferson nickel stands as one of the most fascinating and quietly powerful coins in American history. At first glance, it appears ordinary, a 5-cent piece bearing the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. But beneath its modest copper-nickel surface lies a legacy of craftsmanship, wartime economics, and hidden rarity. Minted at the Denver Mint during a time when America was booming with post-war prosperity, the 1962 D nickel has since grown into a symbol of nostalgia and unintentional treasure, carrying with it whispers of fortunes made and destinies changed. The Jefferson Nickel series began in 1938, replacing the beloved Buffalo nickel. The U.S. Mint wanted a modern, elegant design to represent progress and democracy, two ideals Jefferson himself championed. Felix Schlag's design, featuring Jefferson's calm, determined face on the obverse and his stately home, Monticello, on the reverse, became an enduring image of American strength. By 1962, the design had been in circulation for over 2 decades, but subtle variations and striking errors began to appear, and some of these anomalies turned the 1962 D issue into a legend among collectors. During the early 1960s, the Denver Mint was operating at an incredible pace. Millions of coins were struck daily to meet the nation's growing demand for cash in a rapidly expanding economy. Yet, in that frenzy, a handful of Jefferson nickels left the presses with flaws, double strikes, off-center mint marks, and weakly defined Monticello steps. These coins, rare survivors of minting imperfections, are now the ones that fetch staggering sums in today's market. For the trained eye, a 1962 D with a full, crisp set of steps or an unusually sharp strike is worth far more than face value. It's a piece of monetary art. But the intrigue doesn't stop at minting errors. Some coin experts and enthusiasts believe that a few 1962 D nickels were accidentally struck on planchets meant for other denominations or compositions, perhaps even on leftover silver alloy blanks from earlier experimental strikes. While such coins are exceedingly rare, their discovery has always set the coin world ablaze. Stories circulate of collectors stumbling upon these silvery-toned nickels in change jars or estate collections and later realizing they held a coin worth tens of thousands of dollars. The 1962 D nickel also reflects an era of transition in American coinage. This was the final chapter before the great coinage crisis of the 1960s, when the U.S. Mint would eventually remove silver from dimes and quarters to save costs. While nickels were never struck in silver for circulation during that time, the shine and resilience of the 1962 D issue gave it a deceptive luster. It carried a glow that many mistook for silver, and some numismatists still marvel at how brilliantly these coins have aged compared to others from the same decade. The Denver Mint mark, a small D resting to the right of Monticello, might seem insignificant, yet it gives this coin its distinct personality. Denver minted nickels often carried sharper strikes than their Philadelphia counterparts, but the 1962 batch had surprising inconsistencies. This inconsistency became a playground for collectors. Each variation, each minor die difference, turned into a story, a clue, a spark for treasure hunters. Those with patience and sharp eyes could uncover coins worth small fortunes hidden in common rolls. In today's market, the 1962 D Jefferson nickel has become something of a sleeper hit, a coin that hides in plain sight. Ordinary examples are plentiful, but the extraordinary ones, those with perfect mint luster, flawless full steps, or mysterious planchet characteristics, can sell for thousands. The excitement lies in the possibility that a common nickel in your pocket could secretly belong to that elite group, ready to rewrite your financial story overnight. Beyond its potential value, the 1962 D nickel is a tangible piece of American spirit. It represents a nation confident in its growth, yet still rooted in its traditions. Each coin is a small monument to Jefferson's ideals of liberty, education, and self-governance. Holding one is like holding a miniature time capsule from an era of optimism, a reminder that even the smallest objects can carry the weight of history. Collectors often describe the joy of finding a 1962 D nickel in mint condition as indescribable. It's not just about the money, it's the thrill of discovery, the connection to an age when coins were more than currency. They were symbols of pride, artistry, and endurance. Each nick in its surface, each gleam of metal, speaks of decades spent passing from hand to hand, from a factory worker's palm to a collector's velvet tray. Imagine, for a moment, discovering one of these rare variants, its surfaces shimmering under the light, its design untouched by time. That single piece of copper-nickel alloy, once worth just 5 cents, could today be valued in the thousands, or even hundreds of thousands, if it carries the right combination of rarity and condition. It's not just wealth, it's destiny, a story of patience and luck meeting history. So, if you ever find a 1962 D Jefferson nickel resting quietly in your collection, don't rush to spend it. Look closer. Study its face, its steps, its luster. Because within that tiny circle of metal may lie the power to change your fortune, a sleeping treasure from the golden age of American minting, waiting for the right eyes to awaken it. The 1962 D nickel is more than just a coin. It's a symbol of hope, hidden value, and American craftsmanship. It whispers the eternal truth that greatness often hides in the most ordinary places. For the collector who listens and believes, it can indeed become the coin that turns a dream into reality overnight. Thank you so much for watching this video.